Hello, welcome to a very special Take 5 with Kretz, where I give you tips to raise confident kids. Today, I only have 3 tips, but they are important ones to help your child remain focused throughout this time. My first tip is that your kids need to set a schedule. And yes, I said they need to set a schedule, not you. The reason for that is so they can take ownership over it. Whatever you have ownership of, you're more likely to do and you're more likely to want to do it. The biggest thing around my home is my child wanting to do things. She just doesn't want to do it. And I've realized that part of that is because so much freedom has been taken away from her in this last month or two. Our freedom has been taken away to go places, but her freedom has too, and so has your child's freedom. So one way to help them feel like they get that freedom back is to let them set a schedule. One way to do that is to take a piece of paper with them and then ask them to write down all the things that are important for them to do in the day. Let them add all of the things that are important to them and then remind them to add their responsibilities as well. Once you get all of those things listed and make sure it's reasonable, it's not so much that they definitely can't do it, then ask them when do they want to wake up in the morning, and you guys decide together a good wake up time. Yes, there's a good chance that it's going to be later than they normally wake up. I actually like that my daughter wakes up a little later because that way I can get a whole bunch of work done between the time I wake up and the time she wakes up. But the most important thing for a wake up time is that it's something that works for you. And then set their bedtime at appropriate time so they get enough sleep at night. Only you know how much sleep your child really needs so they're not cranky. And if they tell you, I don't want to set a bedtime, well, how about give them a range of time? Say, choose a time between, and I'm not going to tell you what that is, but whatever time you want to give them, and they can choose what bedtime they want in between that time. The important thing is that they set a wake time and a time when they go to bed. And the next thing that they need to plug in is their eating times, because things happen during the day and there might be situations where they're getting their own food or certain time that you want them to always be available for dinner with the family. Whatever the case may be, you need to help them put that time into their schedule so they always get their nutrition. You might also want them to put their snack time in. Now let them fill in the blanks in that time and see how the day goes. And if the day doesn't go super well, then say, what do you need to adjust about your schedule for tomorrow to make sure you get everything done? Another good tip is to celebrate the things they did get done at the end of the day. Your schedule or their schedule is never going to go perfect. There's going to be unexpected things that happen, and it's okay. Just celebrate the things you were able to get done and then make a new schedule for the next day. And my tip number 2 is notice what your child is doing. And by this, I don't mean hover over them like a hovering little mom with nothing to do all day, but notice the good things they do. It is easy for us to point out the things they forgot, but the moment that they do something on their list that they did on their schedule, I want you to notice that and point it out. That's the best way to give positive reinforcement. Now, when they're doing a schedule, remember, the most important thing is that you want them to take ownership of it. So a little tip I have is stay away from the compliments in these situations that start with I, because you really don't want them to be impressing you. You want them to feel that they're impressing themselves. Some phrases you might want to say is, you're really on the right track. You already completed that task? You're really stepping it up. Or, way to follow through. Saying things like that are going to help them feel confident, and that's exactly how you want them to feel throughout the day. Now, while we're on the subject of compliments, there are times, especially during these insecure times in our life, where you need to give them direct compliments so they know how you feel about them. You just need to say, I'm proud of you. I can't believe how incredible you are, or things that help them be affirmed. So look for opportunities in that throughout the day too. And the third tip I have has a lot to do with my personal mantra that I want to share with you, that I'm keeping on the forefront of my mind throughout this whole time. And that is, peace is better than productivity. Yes, we want to be productive. But think about when this thing is all blown over, whatever date that is, and we're in another set of new normals. I don't know what that's going to look like. But think about that date. Think about when your local playground has opened up and you're finally able to just let your kid play, right? And picture someone coming up and asking your kid a little bit about what they've learned or what they think about you after going through all of this. If that happened, would you rather them say, oh, well, my mom just wants a clean house. I learned that. I cleaned. Or would you rather have them say, I found out my mom has a really funny side, or we learned to bake, or I can't believe how well she makes enchiladas and now I can make enchiladas. Whatever the case may be, fill in the blank. If it's important for you that you guys have a connection like it is for me, then think about the fact that peace is more important than productivity. Sometimes you're just gonna have to let something go and be okay with that. So parents, there's some tips. I know that you are doing your absolute best. There's tons of resources that you find to be able to get through these days, but there also might be too much information coming your way. Sometimes when I look at Pinterest or I look at people posting online, I think, I could never live up to that. I was just glad that I got everybody dressed today. So make sure you give yourself a break. Sometimes your best is just what is good enough. So keep on doing your best and help your kids do the same. And until next time, take care.